Hey everybody, members of the World Crypto Community. I'm Eugene, aka Crypto MC. Hope you're doing well. If you love DeFi and have been staying in that space at least the recent half of the year, you might have heard about the Nimbus Platform project. This was more than a DeFi service. This is a DAO-governed ecosystem of dApps which generate multiple reward streams for users based on IPOs, crowdfunding, P2P lending, and crypto arbitrage-trading. All the dApps are accessible via one token, NBU. It has already been supported by more than 50,000 users, and the number is increasing. Last time I was covering Nimbus news in January 2021, and it's time to do it again, guys. So today I'm having one of the best speakers of mine, Mr. Jorge Sebastiao, the new CEO of Nimbus, right now from Dubai. It's a pleasure to have you again, sir. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. Name is Jorge Sebastiao, and it was an extreme pleasure to join the Nimbus DeFi team and basically had this project, which is going in a very aggressive schedule towards providing value for the community.
Well, let's start with the news of the Nimbus platform first. Jorge Sebastiao has been appointed as the CEO of Nimbus. So our congratulations. And what does it mean for Nimbus? And what are your plans as the CEO in the nearest future?
Actually, there's many things that is important. First, Nimbus is based on DeFi technology. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. Is a technology that has been around for 4 or 5 years, but has gained extreme popularity in the last 1 to 2 years. It enables you to basically have a decentralized smart contract that actually runs on the blockchain and sets the rules by which the organization is shaped and how the organization rewards its members and how they interact with the organization as well. Specifically, Nimbus is actually using 2 tokens. One token, the NBU, which got issued first, and it, of course, is rewarding the existing community of over 50,000 users that we have around the world. But more important than just the NBU token was the GNBU, which is the governance token. As you know, one of the key elements that exists in a DeFi platform is something called DAO. DAO stands for Dynamic Autonomous Organization. Now, what is really a DAO? A DAO is an organization by which you define the relationship between the members, between the executive and the members, and the rewards that get passed to each of them. And these rewards are basically drafted in a smart contract that ties all the elements of the organization together. This is actually extremely important for the members, because the members that actually have invested in the Nimbus platform have the right to vote on the activities that we do, and they get to decide which ones are priority for them based on the risks and rewards. Obviously, we have done lots of activities already, but we have also a long list of activities that are ahead of us for the next 6 months to 1 year, even 1.5 years.
Well, we will be talking about the next events of Nimbus till the end and the nearest time. Let's switch to the tokens. In the first quarter of 2021, Nimbus, as you've already said, launched 2 of the tokens. The first is the NBU token, which is responsible for dApps access, and the second is GNBU token, which is responsible for DAO governance. How these launches were going? Have you been satisfied with results of the launches?
Actually, the launch has been extremely well. Of course, in the first few weeks, there was some glitches, like there is in any software environment. There was some attack against one of the tokens, but we responded in an extremely active way. And more important than that, we also kept the community informed to make sure that they were aware of all the steps that were taking place by us. More important, originally the token was listed on the Nimbus Uniswap environment, and eventually we listed also on Uniswap, which is a much wider distributed exchange. Since this major launch, we have plans for multiple listings in other popular exchanges. Just a few days ago, we launched also on CoinGecko, so people are able to see the activities that are happening against the token. And very briefly, we will also be launching on the Binance Smart Chain as well. As you know, when you launch on the Ethereum blockchain, sometimes there's issues associated with the network being partially clogged. Clogged means that the transactions run slower than they have. And that leads to a challenge, and the challenge is that the gas fees or the transaction fees tend to become more expensive, or they skyrocket because of the network being clogged. So people want to put priority on their own transactions, and so they have to pay more. One of the advantages of moving towards Binance Smart Chain, which is primarily a copy of Ethereum, and it's a faster chain. Transaction fees are much lower, and that really means that this gives to the members a much larger and better benefit in the infrastructure as well.
What purposes GNBU token could be used for?
Primarily, the GNBU token, or the governance NBU token, is the token which powers the DAO contract. So this token is actually used to provide the members that invest in the community the capability to make decisions of what are the important steps that Nimbus will take in the future. So that really means any important decision that we need and are required to make within the organization, the members get to vote what is the direction that they choose. So in reality, Nimbus is becoming much more like a cooperative, a decentralized cooperative, in which each member, based on the number of GNBU tokens that they hold, they decide by a popular vote what is the next direction that Nimbus will actually take and which projects they should be given priority to.
So, George, what another launches should we expect from the Nimbus team till the end of 2021?
Actually, we have a complete roadmap, and this really a roadmap until the end of the year is going to consist primarily in 3 steps. The first step was the launch in the CoinGecko, which you just did about 1 week ago. The second one is going to be the launch in the Binance Smart Chain. As you know, Binance today is the largest exchange around the world. It's actually not just one exchange, it's 3 of them. One in the United States, which is smaller. The one worldwide is much bigger. And a distributed one which complements the work that is being done by Uniswap, and basically has also got massive market acceptance. Beyond that, Binance also introduces to the member much lower gas fees and much faster transaction times. Other than that, we are now looking at the IPO. And at the IPO, as you mentioned, we have 2 primary jurisdictions. First priority will be the Toronto Stock Exchange, and then we're also looking at the NASDAQ in the United States as well as an alternative option.
Well, these are the good plans. So Nimbus Platform is considered as the one of the most promising projects in the 2021 in the DeFi space. How do you think? Why?
Well, Nimbus Platform is one of the most promising projects for many aspects. I think the most important aspect is the community itself, because all the projects in the DeFi space have value because of the community. The second aspect is the value that we give to the community through the staking that takes place in the investments that provide return to that community. And number 3 is how we expand that community by listing our tokens in the most wider platforms, and this enables to reach even a much wider community than the one we already have in place. The third and final element is really the one that I consider the future of DeFi. Most DeFi projects that are able to tie the digital world with the physical or real world assets are the ones that have the best chance to succeed and expand in the future. And we're doing that by launching as both IPO as well as a DeFi project and tying the 2 values together.
Well, you've been observing the DeFi space recent years. What's going on in DeFi space in general right now? What should we, crypto community enthusiasts, should pay attention on in DeFi space?
Okay, that is a very good question. The DeFi space remains an area of extreme innovation. Some of the things that I think are extremely important in DeFi space is a much more trust in the DeFi space. So a lot of more organizations are paying attention to the importance of doing things like technical security audits of their smart contract. This ensures that the DeFi organizations operate in the most secure way. The second thing that is extremely important in the DeFi space is the interoperability between the different chains. So we have a whole new generation of integration or interchain platforms, example, Polkadot being one of them, that will allow worlds that normally don't talk to each other, they will have the capacity to actually cooperate. And by having multiple chains cooperating together, that means the investors or the crowdfunding that takes care in one specific platform will also benefit in a much wider marketplace.
Well, sounds very good. Thank you for the brilliant explanation. By the way, you're planning to be the speaker at the Blockchain Wave conference in Antalya, Turkey, on April 8th. Tell us, please, bit details. What should we know about Turkey, this country, regarding crypto space?
Actually, it's very interesting. I go quite regularly to Turkey, and it's a pleasure, obviously, to be in Antalya, which is in the southern part of Turkey, facing Cyprus, the European place. So what really happens is that Turkey in the last few years has been extremely receptive to both blockchain and digital cryptocurrencies. So today, if you go into a city like Istanbul, you see a lot of crypto exchanges throughout the city. And that really means that if you're an early or a regular adopter of digital and cryptocurrencies, you can pay for all services through cryptocurrencies, whether it happens to be, for example, you want to pay your hotel, your restaurant, or if you, for example, do specific work or consultation work, you can also get rewarded in cryptocurrencies. And because of the high availability of the exchanges, you can easily convert between, for example, international currencies or the local Turkish lira as well. As you know, the Turkish lira sometimes it had a bit of challenge because of pressure from other countries, but I think this extreme adoption and cooperation with digital currencies is extremely beneficial to a country that is based on the power of industrial. As you know, Turkish has a long history of cooperation with vocational education that actually comes from Germany. And this has enabled Turkey to actually expand its industrial base in a very successful way.
Well, George, what you will be talking about in Antalya, explain us.
In Antalya, I will be talking about Nimbus project and explaining it to the community, as well as explaining the current challenges that exist in the DeFi world and how we are actually addressing these challenges by basically providing value to the community. I'll be doing both a panel as well as a keynote address during this event.
Well, whom will you recommend to visit Antalya at the Blockchain Wave conference on April 8th?
Actually, many colleagues. Obviously, we will expect over 1,000 attendees during this time. Of course, there are some restrictions because of COVID and travel, but as you know, both Turkey and Dubai is open. So the people that are I expect maybe at least 50% of the people to be from the local community and the remaining ones from the external community. So it'll be a very interesting discussion amongst people that are looking at innovative use cases of digital currencies, DeFi, as well as the new hot topic in blockchain, which is NFT tokens and NFT technology.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still not the member of the Nimbus community, shouldn't you join it right now because Nimbus team has been building something super promising for all the DeFi ecosystem. I highly recommend you to read an excellent Nimbus blog on Medium covering all the Nimbus news. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, stay DeFi, stay Nimbus, and let's meet in Antalya at the Blockchain Wave Conference in Turkey on April 8th. See you next videos. Bye-bye.
Eugene, it's a pleasure to see you. It was a pleasure to see you at Blockchain Live in Moscow and at other events, and looking forward to also meeting you in Turkey as well. Thank you.